won the Whitfield Cup for the first time. They've only been in it for 5 years. A champion side, nobody can deny that.
September 27, 1992. No matter what height the Broncos scale in the years to come, it is that date which will remain indelibly on the minds of every Brisbane fan. The grandest of all grand occasions, their first premiership. The prize for perfection, though, is pressure. And after some hard and fast celebrations and a team trim, the players had to get back into serious mode. The Whitfield Cup was one thing. But could they, just 1 month later, in the cold and fog of Central Park, Wigan, prove themselves the best in the world?
And Renner has support on the far side with Carr, and that's the World Cup Championship.
It was an emphatic yes, with a 22-8 win over the Cherry Pickers. A bit of R&R. And then it was back to that familiar bark.
Okay, let's go!
With the boardroom bickerings finally solved, the Broncos moved shop from Lang Park to QE2 and the newly named ANZ Stadium. The launch of season 93 came from their new home. And a boost for morale too. The game's most popular player would be a Bronco for the rest of his career.
The great news for us and the great news for Queensland and Brisbane is that Alan Langer signed a 5-year contract with us.
I got Reeves in a headlock and told him how much I wanted.
That news was an appropriate curtain raiser as the Broncos opened their premiership defence against Cronulla at Caltex Field. It was obvious none of the backline combination had been lost during the off-season.
Comes up to Wrigley, got away from Wrigley, got it away to Hancock, he got away from Eddinghausen, he's in for the try in the corner.
Brisbane safely home 19-10 after Kerrod Walters and Terry Madison laid the foundations for the skipper.
Alan Langer backing up, cuts away from Higgins, and a little bit of magic from Alan Langer to finish it off.
The Premiers then headed to Auckland for a Friday night special against Canterbury. The Bulldogs turned on some entertaining football to justify sacrificing their home ground advantage.
Now, here's Goodwin. Goodwin's 8 metres out. Gives the pass for Dimmick. It's a try.
Veteran Terry Lamb was inspirational. His lead-up work and Jason Smith's miraculous final pass, the highlights of a quality try, as the entertainers of the 80s sounded an early warning with a 20-10 upset.
5 metres out. Jason Smith gets involved again. Goes for the line. Gets it away. Williams puts it down.
Change is always difficult and emotional. But for the greatest game of all, I think we will see an excellent home at QE2.
Economics and the now notorious beer war necessitated the Broncos' move in '93 from their home of 5 years, Lang Park, to the impressive QE2 Stadium, site of the 1982 Commonwealth Games. The arena was renamed ANZ Stadium after the project's principal sponsor, and $10.25 million was allocated to upgrade the facilities in a joint venture between the Broncos and the Brisbane City Council. The fans' response was overwhelming, with 8,000 season tickets pre-sold. All was in readiness for the Broncos' first home game against Parramatta on the 28th of March.
It therefore gives me great pleasure now to declare open the home of the Brisbane Broncos, ANZ Stadium.
The opening celebrations were soured, however, when Parramatta gate-crashed the party with an upset win over the Premiers.
The Eels' defence is solid.
The post-match assessment showed the stadium suffered. The larger-than-expected crowd complained of long delays and inadequate facilities.
They all turned up early, all wanted a hot dog at 12 o'clock, and we just weren't ready for them. And it was a great learning curve for us, and very thankful for the people of Queensland that stuck with us and supported us after that game. I think you can make a mistake once, but if you keep doing it, it's very hard to expect people to keep coming back. We did get it right at the stadium. We promised we would, and it was indicated by our last game with 58,000 there. So really, the people of Brisbane have just been fantastic to us. We can't thank them enough.
The Broncos kept their promise to rectify the opening day problems, much to the delight of their loyal fans.
We've enjoyed the day, and it's been. We're sitting in the stand, and you couldn't wish for better, I don't believe.
The logistics of running such an enormous facility are mind-boggling. 600 staff are required each match day to ensure the needs of the public are well catered for. From manning concessions to running security, each performs a vital task. Whether in the outer or the corporate boxes, special attention is paid to meet everyone's requirements. On the 18th of June, the lights went on at ANZ Stadium, and Brisbane's rugby league faithful responded. The local derby against the Gold Coast attracted a crowd of 57,000. The Broncos' biggest home crowd was reserved for the final game of the season against St George. Despite the inclement weather, some 58,000 turned out to witness the grand final replay. By the end of round 22, the Broncos had attracted close to 500,000 people through the gates. They averaged 42,000 a game, double the previous year's figures, a stinging rebuttal of the Lang Park argument.
There were many knockers, as you say, some of them in the state government. I guess Queensland Rugby League were probably the biggest knockers because they had a vested interest in preserving and protecting Lang Park. I think it's fair to say in retrospect that they were stupid in their decision making. If they had cared for the Broncos at Lang Park and gone into a partnership with them, they would have all done much better.
A glowing testament from the people of Brisbane and Queensland that the move to ANZ Stadium was the Broncos' best move yet. The cauldron was prepared. Parramatta was to be the first sacrificial lamb. The Broncos looked set to celebrate in style at their new home.
Neil makes the extra man. He also makes the break, and he'll go all the way.
But the Eels soon spoiled the festive mood, pulling off a 12-10 upset.
Galbraith turns it for Michael Butner. That time they got it down.
Against Canberra, 46,000 gathered at ANZ to spur on the home side. Lazarus was lurking out wide against his old club and crashed over in the tackle of Australian teammate Mal Meninga. The Broncos won an entertaining match 12-10. John Plath coming off the bench to score a crucial touchdown.
Very, very good memories. I mean, that's when things really started to come together for me this year. That was the first real major thing I've done in first grade in 6 years with the club, so it was a pretty good feeling.
Gets it away to Johnny Plath. Plath cutting his way through. He'll score! Johnny Plath over underneath the post.
2 losses in the first month of '93 suggested a premiership hangover. Could the Broncos buck up in the coming rounds and keep on track their defence of the Cup? In round 5 at Leichhardt Oval, the Broncos showed against Balmain how to let the ball do the work.
Stay with them. Renoff got the rebound. Play on. 6 more tackles from Hancock. The pass it to touch forward. Renoff elusive. He is a tremendous stepper. Steve Renoff.
In a dour encounter won 12-6, Brisbane's big match players made the difference. Hancock's surge finished off by Langer.
They're very slow to recover here, the Balmain Tigers.
Now it's Walters. Right through. Langer for the line, and Langer will score.
A week later, the Broncos returned to ANZ for the game against Penrith. Willie Khan's chase too hot for Graham Mackay.
Still going, puts a little kick and he's taken out. Mackay's back there. Touchdown!
That was a touch of individual talent from one of the game's best finishers. But this try, which started inside the 20-metre zone, shows just how potent the Brisbane side is in attack.
This is Kevin Walters up over the quarter line. Back it comes to Madison, and Madison will score.
Madison's second try helped the home side to an emphatic 34-8 win over the Panthers.
Our ability to attack comes from a whole variety of sources, and basically it comes from Wayne Bennett. That's where I think it comes from. He understands defence and attack, and has always recruited great players around him who can do wonderful things in attack.
On Anzac Day, Brisbane faced the unslain Dragons in a replay of last year's grand final. Use of the angles, just the geometry for an attacking genius like Steve Renoff.
Renoff's into space. The flying Renoff goes in to score.
A little bit of Alfie magic also went a long way.
To Alan Langer. Langer steps and goes over the line. Oh, so easy.
Kerrod Walters was cited for this tackle and later suspended for 2 matches as the Broncos broke a 14-all deadlock by doing what they do best.
Dummies inside, goes outside and Renoff, he puts it down.
We thought they had a point to prove after we beat them pretty convincingly in the grand final, and also it marked the start of the State of Origin series was in the next weeks to come on, so we really wanted to get a win behind us before all the players went away into camp, so it was a very important game for us, and luckily we stuck to our guns and got the win.
Not too far back, Doctor. Knee in the back.
A record Broncos contingent of 11 lined up for Origin 1. It might have been more had Kerrod Walters' rep career not been put on hold.
Out they come. Malmaninga brings them out, the Queenslanders.
Club insiders remember the May 3rd encounter at Lang Park as the Origin from hell. The Blues won 14-10, their first win at the Cauldron since 1987. Worse still, the match claimed Steve Renoff and Andrew G as its victims, both out for long spells.
At the end of each season, we come under the microscope in terms of semi-final football. We're expected to do well in there, and we're under that terrible stress to do well there. Yet, for 6 to 8 weeks preceding that, we've lost all our players completely and utterly gone, and being ravaged by additional games that we don't really need them to go through. And I think that equation is unbalanced at the moment.
To suggest Mick Hancock had an off night would be the understatement of the year. Hancock's horror at the 20-minute mark of the second half robbed Queensland of momentum that may have produced victory.
Done. Absolutely in front of the post. Stupid play by Mick Hancock.
Willie Kahn's performance was colossal, his try coming all too late.
Now Kahn steps. Can he get there? You could
And now the big fella, Malmaninga, takes the Maroons of Queensland out of their dressing shed.
The gods again frowned on Queensland 2 weeks later in Sydney. 7 Broncos involved on a night that all the tough calls went against the Maroons.
He's denied the try.
Oh, no.
A controversial omission from Origin 1, Trevor Gilmeister returned to add steel to the pack. Dazzling utility, Julian O'Neill also grabbing his first taste of rep football. Referee Eddie Ward could kiss goodbye his claims to the Barry Gomersall Award for loyalty to Queensland after denying Willie Kahn a surefire 6-pointer in the 50th minute.
Here's a try. No, he's offside. He's in front of the kicker.
He's dead set onside. It's a try.
No, it's not.
And after Kevin Walters gave his mates a sniff of victory, Malmaninga thought Mark Hone was better equipped to secure that last-minute series leveller.
He's got 30 to go. He draws the defence, gives it to Mark Hone. And Hone gives the pass back to New South Wales. 16-12, it's all over. Lang Park becomes academic.
Despite his best-laid plans, Kevin Walters found himself the scapegoat for the second successive season when the selectors met to choose a team, dead rubber aside, that might regain that 80s invincibility.
Look at this crowd. They love their rugby league up here.
Julian O'Neill assumed the key position, but at half-time was replaced by Walters with devastating effect.
Kevin Walters, away now for a try coming up.
It goes to Walters. There's a little stab. Eddie House will clean it up. And he loses the ball. Oh, no. He's lost.
The Ipswich connection clicked impeccably. Langer's performance effectively deflecting Ricky Stewart's claims to the number 7 Test jumper. In reality, the Broncos' home and away hopes survived the 1993 Origin series relatively intact, but coaching staff remained unconvinced that the two could ever be happy bedfellows.
I don't think they can be quality bedfellows there because the equation is distorted. When one team, or even 2 teams if you include Canberra, can provide so many representative players, which puts the club at risk for long periods of time in the season.
The only way to minimise that risk is by maintaining a depth of quality personnel. Without their stars, the Broncos were stunned by the Steelers in round 8. Illawarra skipping to a 22-8 lead before the Broncos' Mr. Fix-It weaved his magic. John Plath, the man dubbed Super Sub, scored 2 tries as Brisbane stormed home to win 24-22. The club's stocks, though, were sorely tested the next week due to Origin injuries and suspension. The fallout allowed the Bears to have a picnic at North Sydney Oval. With Mobile Blues forward David Fairley his explosive best, the Broncos were handed a 40-20 drubbing. A similar result looked on the cards at ANZ against Wests. The Magpies skipped away to a 16-0 lead. But this high tackle on Madison only managed to sting Brisbane into action.
Cuts him up the centre, he's looking for support. He'll find it outside in Chris Johns. Can he go all the way? You betcha he can, and Johns is over underneath the post.
John's second try ended a 36-point turnaround by the home side.
And if he gets it, it's a try. Super try.
The Broncos had exerted reasonable damage control. 2 wins from 3 starts in the most taxing period of the season. Sporting organisations pay millions of dollars each year to promote their teams and raise their public profile. In Queensland, the Broncos are the most visible example of this 1990s necessity. Their on-field success has put them in the enviable position whereby major corporate sponsors are happy not only to promote, but also pay the players through product endorsements. Everyone, it seems, wins.
Hey Amos, look in tomorrow's Courier Mail to find out how you can get your hands on one of these great Broncos footballs.
MMI. We can go out and play then.
Thanks, mate.
By associating a product with the Broncos, the advertiser projects a popular winning image.
Silvio's Broncos Pizza is back.
Puppy dog, woohoo!
The Broncos' public profile is also heightened through the product association.
It's an easy job to market because of the tremendous product that I've got to work with. The profile of the boys, the team, both on and off the field, the standard of play they play, it's entertaining, and also they're becoming professionals. They're maturing as footballers, and they're also maturing as commercial products off the field. So from that point of view, it's a very easy product. The boys are becoming more at ease with what they're doing, and more opportunities are occurring all the time.
Only from All Gas. Oh, sorry.
And play football is what they did in the early stages of the Round 11 match against Easts at the football stadium. Initially, it wasn't a matter of if the Broncos were going to win, but by how much.
Fires it out to Renoff, he's straight through. He's just got speed to burn, Steve Renoff.
Whether it was off-field concerns or not, the intensity dropped off. Easts suddenly back in it.
And Will races away for the try.
Right on full time, the Roosters were denied victory when an apparent fair try was disallowed. The coach's solution to the concentration problem?
Well, if we had the answers for it, I'd be out of a job.
6 days later, 57,000 gathered at ANZ Stadium for the local derby. Both Brisbane and the Gold Coast were minus their test stars, who were on duty in New Zealand. Thanks to a trademark charge, fill-in winger Brett Plowman barged over for the Broncos to win 14-6.
Peacock comes out and he gets up, starts to go again, he's in.
In round 13, Brisbane faced Manly at Brookvale Oval. It was a night they'd rather forget. The Sea Eagles dominated. Flamboyant Welshman John Devereux played a big part in the 24-8 win.
Here's the call from Devereux, and Devereux, he signals to the crowd, I'm going over for a try.
The Rabbitohs were those unfortunate enough to bear the brunt of the Brookvale bungle as Brisbane vented its fury at ANZ Stadium.
Khan goes down to the 30-metre line, stands up the fullback, puts the foot down even further and plunges in for another try.
Willie Khan crossed for 3 tries, but there was nothing sweeter than the speed and balance shown by Renoff in the record 54-8 win over South.
Renoff in and away, out and away, and down she goes. Renoff.
Then it was off to Newcastle for a joust with the Knights in the mud of Marathon.
They needed to win to stay in touch with the 5, and they'd been playing pretty ordinarily too, and they were keyed up for a big game, and we expected it. And our forwards that day were outstanding in the wet, and certainly took control of the game and dominated the game, and we racked up 30-odd points in the wet, which was a pretty good performance in those conditions.
Wet weather football was the order of the day, but in between, some flashes of brilliance as the Broncos ran out winners 31-2. 2/3 of the way through the season, and the Broncos had overcome a sloppy start and manoeuvred their way through the hazards of the representative matches. They sat at equal third, 2 wins away from the top of the table. Ready, they hoped, to finish the premiership fixtures in a flurry.
Canterbury now under siege. Kevin Walters out the back. Julian O'Neill throws the dummy. He's over!
Several years ago, the Brisbane Broncos established what's considered the most comprehensive talent identification scheme in Australia. Under the guidance of former international Cyril Connell, a network of scouts was set up across the state.
Obviously, you look for the player with something a little bit different, and he stands out a little bit. But more than that, I think reports on his attitude to the game, and also his attitude to school, things in general, that all plays a very important part. But obviously, you're looking for someone who's perhaps a little bit different from the rest.
Up to 6 such players are recognised each year and awarded a much-coveted Broncos scholarship.
We normally offer scholarships to boys at school throughout Queensland on the condition they stay at their school and on the condition that their attitude in schooling is well reported on by the school principal. We believe that if we've chosen wisely, their football will move along quite well.
Recent scholarship holders who have gone on to sign with the club include Butch Fatnauna and Wendell Saylor.
He gets it back to Saylor. Saylor dives for it. And he's in for the charge.
Central to the success of the program is the direction given to it by Coordinator Connell.
We're very lucky with him in the sense that he's a great person. He's a very caring person, and I don't think there's a guy more suitable for the position that he has. He was a former school teacher, so his whole life's been involved with young people as well. He gets a great self-satisfaction out of that.
Off-field contributors like Connell get their greatest joy not through public recognition, but by witnessing the brand of football the Broncos are capable of producing. Against a 12-man Cronulla outfit in round 16, after Craig Diamond's send-off, the first half was full of such Bronco magic. Teams with 13 defenders have enough trouble containing Steve Renouf. The Pearl revelled in the extra space available. But again, the Brisbane concentration wavered.
Healy has a bit of a run. He's found a gap and he's over underneath the post.
In the dying stages, Cronulla had the chance to snatch the game, but the Broncos held on to win 38-34. Then came the top 3 shootout with Canterbury at ANZ. Brisbane's ability to keep the ball alive had the Bulldogs on the run. This, the main course in Renouf's 4-try feast.
Scott Wilson, he beats him. He's going for the corner. Renouf scores for Brisbane. Great try.
The Broncos' all-round superiority reinforced when a front rower backed up a winger's kick ahead to score. The backline on fire. Brisbane continually headed wide. Renouf setting up Hancock as a muzzled Bulldogs outfit went home to think again.
Length of the field try for the Broncos.
5 days later, Brisbane ventured to Parramatta, full of confidence. The Eels soon brought them back to reality with an intercept try.
Kragovic will score!
As brave as they were, Parra couldn't quite produce enough for an upset. The Broncos prevailed 15-8.
Willie Kahn on Scott Mann. Easy work for Willie Kahn.
From there, it was off to a chilly Canberra, where the mercury had dropped to 0, but the Friday night footy was hot.
Johns, he fends well, he goes in, he's in!
That try was Brisbane's only joy in what many mistakenly believed was to be the grand final preview. Stewart's quick thinking and daily strength rewarded. Meninga's second-half intercept was the turning point in a game won by the Raiders 20-4.
30 metres to go, Will Kahn get him? No, the big fella's in!
Brisbane then lined up for its 3rd Friday nighter in a row, and Balmain was rated an outside chance of an upset at ANZ Stadium. The Tigers did a good job to hold the Broncos for the first 18 minutes. From there, it was a one-way procession, the home side completing a 50-0 shutout.
Langer gets amongst the spoils, and Brisbane are bolting away.
It looks as though we lay down. My blokes tried right to the death, but they were simply too good.
But if Friday night was elation for the Broncos, Monday's news brought devastation.
The football season is over for Broncos star Steve Renouf. His jaw broken in 2 places at Mergen on the weekend.
Renouf was back home in Mergen for a 21st birthday party, and it was on the Sunday morning in his mother's front yard where the damage was done.
Apparently he must have got king hit, as far as I can make out. And when he came back in, I just said, how are you feeling? He just said, oh, my jaw.
X-rays confirmed the worst, and with a titanium plate inserted, it seemed the cruelest of blows for both Renouf and the Broncos. Although shocked by the nature of the injury, the players had no choice but to regroup and face Penrith in yet another night game. It was a dour match in which the 34-14 scoreline did not reflect the closeness of the contest. All kinds of final five permutations and combinations faced the clubs going into the last round of fixtures. The last Broncos-St George match was a promoter's dream, and despite inclement weather, an ANZ Stadium record crowd of 57,999 turned out to watch the 1992 grand finalists do battle. The Dragons ensured at least 2 bites of the premiership cherry with their 16-10 win. The Broncos' defeat meaning any more slip-ups and their 1993 season would be over. So, after 176 matches of high-octane rugby league since March 12, just 2 premiership points separated the top 5 teams on the table. A finishing flurry by Canterbury over Canberra gave the Bulldogs the minor premiership. The Raiders and St George to meet in the major semi, with Manly finishing ahead of the Broncos on for and against. Brisbane had been sentenced to a month of knife-edge knockout football if they were to successfully make it back-to-back cups and become the first team to win it from 5th spot.
We've got to stop the ball, so when you hit them hard!
Rugby league is now big business. Its employees, the players, vie for large contracts in a hotly contested market. Competition means players look for a physical edge, making their bodies bigger and faster. As a result, the hits just keep getting bigger as the titans of the modern game put their bodies on the line.
Oh, big stop!
Punching tackle, but I think they'll have it. It's hard by Gilmeister and home. Good tackle.
Big hit. Oh! Connolly went straight and ran off. Picked him up and drove him. Blair. Oh! Gilmeister was waiting for him. Picked him off beautifully. Oh! Oh! Solid stuff. Quickly, Lewis. He sees the opportunity. He might go all the way. The crowd's going to urge him. Lewis.
Since the inception of the Brisbane Broncos and the Winfield Cup 6 years ago, over 100 players have donned the club's first-grade colours. Many are old boys now, familiar faces from the past, whose legendary efforts in helping to forge a proud Broncos tradition will long be remembered.
Going for the line. Curry's gone in field. Now he's come back. And Curry puts it down.
Trevor Gilmeister is the latest addition to the Broncos Old Boys Club. His departure to Penrith signalled the end of a successful 3-year association with the Premiers. Bill Walker paid this tribute to the man dubbed the Axe.
Gilmeister. Good run by Gilmeister, some 20 metres.
Gilmeister, yes. Trevor Gilmeister's put them, and the Broncos had to hit back.
Gilmeister, and Gilmeister goes over for try number 2 in Newcastle. Gilmeister on his own to the line, and he's over.
Gilmeister.
He's always suffered with the size factor, but that's been the thing that's made him the player that he is too. He spent his whole life proving people wrong. And perhaps if he'd have been 6'2" and hadn't got the criticism that he got, he might have been just another player in the park. But it's made him a little bit hungry, a little bit more determined, and without it, I don't know if he'd have been the player that he is.
Size certainly hasn't impeded Trevor Gilmeister's rugby league playing ability. At just 178 centimetres, he's revered as the most ferocious defender in the game.
Crunching tackle. What do you reckon it was? It'll be Gilmeister. Of course it is.
Gilmeister began his first grade career with Brisbane club Norths in the mid-80s, before transferring to Sydney's eastern suburbs, where coach Arthur Beetson, for obvious reasons, dubbed him the Axe.
Oh, gee, that was a hit and a half on Turvey.
He was lured back to Brisbane in 1991 to add some much-needed starch to the Broncos' forward pack.
Side eye, great tackle. That was Gilmeister.
The last 3 seasons have been his most successful to date. In his first year with the Broncos, he took out the club's much-coveted Player of the Year award, and last year, the mantle of Best Forward. It is a testament to his superb fitness and steely determination that in 3 years with the club, Gilmeister has amazingly missed just 1 match, accumulating an impressive 81 first-grade games.
Taken on the bounce by Gilmeister, and Gilmeister scores!
Renowned as a defensive player, Gilmeister's attacking skills also blossomed under the guidance of coach Wayne Bennett. Displaying the same lack of respect for his physical well-being as he does in defence, Gilmeister fearlessly hurls himself into the opposition. He managed to breach his opponent's line 8 times in 3 years, while creating a plethora of opportunities for his support players.
Gilmeister. Ah, tremendous pass by Gilmeister. Puts Walters away.
Oh, the Axe doing his job, doing his thing, the Axe.
He made his State of Origin debut for Queensland in 1987, representing his state with distinction on 15 occasions. But while he's enjoyed the honour of playing in the maroon colours, the green and gold of Australia has unjustly eluded him.
It's just unfortunate that Australia at the moment got a coach which believes in big is beautiful, because Trevor would be probably the first picked in my side.
After 3 years of loyalty to the Broncos, Trevor Gilmeister next season switches camps to Penrith. His exit, a result of the economic expediency clubs have to exercise in the ruthless 90s. Such partings are rarely easy.
There's been some tough decisions made here for different reasons, and that was right up there with him. Mainly because of the guy that he is. He was 100% person and has given nothing but his best for this club.
Show no mercy. Entertainment is the catch cry of the 90s, and the Broncos have been quick to recognise it. In conjunction with major sponsor Sony Music, they've worked together to ensure a trip to ANZ Stadium is a complete entertainment experience. Rugby league is still the main draw card. The likes of Rick Price and Mark Williams, the support acts. A litany of world-class Sony artists graced the ANZ Stadium in '93, some playing before crowds of 50,000 and more. Artists the calibre of guitar genius Tommy Emmanuel, who inspired with his stirring rendition of Advance Australia Fair. The stadium gyrated to the exciting music of Australian rock legends, the Black Sorrows.
Like tumbling down the aisle, ever got in smile.
The Sydney Football Stadium became the home of entertainment for the last 4 weeks of the season. The feature act, semi-final football, and the Broncos played a starring role. Act 1, Brisbane versus Manly.
Criticism. Devereaux from a standing start. Gilmeister hit him low and hit him hard. Kieran Walters appealing to his captain for a quick play the ball. Kevin Walters holds it back, gets it away. Madison out the back. A magic pass. Walters gets the try. Kieran Walters. Madison's pass out the back. It was a ripper of a pass.
Yes, and Kevin Walters heavily involved as well.
They're 11 metres out from the line. And Brisbane, can they put it over the line again? Julian O'Neill does the dance, gets away, still going, he's into the corner. It's a try for O'Neill. Brisbane extend their lead. Brisbane wide, they've got a cluster of forwards out in the centre, but Saylor won't need them. He's over the line. Saylor gets their third. Brisbane 14-0 now.
What a beautiful piece of play by Kevin Walters.
11 and a half minutes of the first half remaining. Can 45 out from the line, standing, not held. Away it goes through Kieran Walters out to Kevin. He goes into a giant hole. Here's Madison. He's on his way. Elsgood brings him down. Is it a double movement? Is it a double movement?
I don't think it is, and he's done his shoulder.
Try has been awarded. Madison's done his shoulder into the bargain. Elsgood away from it now. Oh, complete break by Jack Elsgood. Now, see if they can catch him. I don't think they can. Elsgood's very fast. Elsgood, the rookie of the year. He goes over to score. Right. Kevin Walters. Willie Carr caught it and kicked it in one action. Scooped up by Michael Hancock. Now away to Kevin Walters. Oh, shut the gate. Alan Can. He's bolted over the line. They're in the centre of the field. And they're just reaching the 20-metre line now as Kevin Walters gives it for John Platt. Platt runs around and through, turns it back, and another try. This time for Willie Kahn. Roberts and Lazarus are the two players down. Lazarus, oh dear, the left ankle went under. As the clock suggests there's only 5 seconds remaining, this is the last. To the air will they go? No, Plath. Away from dummy half. Now Khan. Oh, there's too many there for Manly. Khan gets his second try. 36-10 on the very last second of the game.
Act 2 pitted the Broncos against another modern superpower, Canberra. Brisbane lost Glenn Lazarus in the opening minutes, but it mattered little as they went on a 15-minute try-scoring spree to set up victory.
Now they push it quickly. There's a chance here. Away goes Hancock. Oh, he's home. Stone is chasing. 10 out of 10 for chasing. But Hancock swooped on the opportunity, and the Broncos get the first try. Langer. In one side, out the other. Kicks for Ryan. He gets the ball down. This will be a try for Peter Ryan.
Gino, I was about to say that I thought the intensity had gone out of this Canberra side. Is that the way it looks down there? They're just not coming up as quickly, and there's another miss.
Hold the phone. They're on their way again. Walters away for Saylor. Nandruku on Saylor. He goes in to score.
Well, they're gone, the Raiders. It's all over.
22 out from the sideline. Oh, have a look at it. Outside is Clyde. That's a dummy. And then Meninga for Mullins. Mullins' pass goes over the sideline. Just on their own side of the halfway, as you saw by that wide shot. Can. He's burst through. 25 to go. Tried to put a step on Belcher. So contemptuous was the run of Alan Can. He loves to score tries here. Makes a habit of it. That was audacious, though. He tried to put a step on Belcher. Langer pushes it out. Now Chris Johns stumbles his way towards the line and provides O'Neill with another try. David Furner. Oh, beautiful pass. Nandruko. Hoppy with the long pass. Stone equally long. Daly, they've got the numbers. Surely they're going to score. Nandruko goes in for his second of the day. Meninga bursts onto a Daly pass. Steve Walters away from Ryan. Dummies for Daly. Pushes away from another. Looks to stand and offload, which he does. Daly, 5 metres out. Finds Nandruko. Nandruko. That's number 3.
All of a sudden, from 5th spot, the defending premiers were beginning to flex their muscle. They moved to within one victory of a second grand final appearance.
I'll probably play St George in the grand final, and it'll be a beauty, but I'd have to say that on today's performance, if they start like that, it'll be hard to beat.
The following day, Saints continued their march to the grand final with victory over minor premiers Canterbury. Mark Coyne was again instrumental. A miracle pass to Goulet ensured the Dragons a week off before the grand final and relegated the Bulldogs to the prelim final against Brisbane.
And Goulet! Oh, Goulet! He puts it down!
That was the major semi-final. Lazarus lost his battle with the city's most talked-about ankle, but the big burst for Brisbane, the return of Terry Madison and Steve Renouf. It was a dream return for Renouf 5 weeks after breaking his jaw.
It's Steve Renouf! Oh! Did I tell you? He scored 6 tries! Make it 7 against the Dogs! Here's the conversion attempt. Oh! Julian O'Neill from the sideline, up beauty. Terry Lamb. Jim Dimmock. Dimmock's over the line. Has he got it down? It looks like a try. It is. Jim Dimmock gets a try for Canterbury. Julian O'Neill. Straight down to Brett Dallas. He's played at the ball. Oh, and Hancock is away. Hancock, he scores. How would Brett Dallas be feeling right now? Michael Hancock scores a freaking try. Langer, will he use the kick? Little chip out for the Willie Kahn. Kahn goes high, so does Canterbury. Line dropout. I think Renouf said it best today in the footy show. You get a solid enough smack on the jaw. Oh, Darren Smith. Darren Smith gets it inside. Scott Wilson under the bar. Wilson gets a try. And Andrew G over the top, and Mark Brokenshire. He was right in the middle of it. Here's a chance. Terry Lamb. Lofted pass. Oh, they'll score. McCracken. He gets the try. 16-10. And the doggies are barking now. They've let 25% more tries in against them. Kerrod Walters straight up the middle. Alan Langer's away. The little fellow goes in to score. The Broncos, the Walters-Langer combination, and Alfie puts it down. You know what I mean?
The way that the stadium is built, the ball does swirl.
Here's Steve Renouf down the line. Tunnelly, he beats him, gets the pass inside. It went forward. Oh, I thought Renouf was in again.
I think they'll go now through Langer.
Here it is, Langer's back. Has a look at it, gets the kick in. He's got it. Alfie Langer's kicked the point. 28 metres out from the Canterbury line in Brisbane. Putting another attacking wave together. Kerrod Walters out wide for Alan Cann. Cann beats he beats centre. Goes inside the 10 and the 5. Oh! Somebody stop him. He'll run out of the stadium. Alan Cann gets a try. That's it. Brisbane are in the grand final.
Alan Cann's super try sealed Canterbury's fate, and we had what we had last year, a Brisbane St George grand final. All that remained was one final 80-minute examination and one final week's intense build-up. The Broncos received a tumultuous reception from their fans when they returned from Sydney. Having booked a place in the grand final, the next 6 days would be critical. After the rigours of a tortuous 4-week semi-final campaign, coach Wayne Bennett and Kelvin Giles settled on a low-key, low-impact final week of training.
Somebody stop him! He'll run out of the stadium! Alan Tan gets a try!
It takes 48 hours after that kind of torture, and it was emotional and physical torture out there for them and for Canterbury. I thought that was a great contest.
They spent Monday on the racetrack rather than the training track, all except the reserves, that is. Most attention was on Glenn Lazarus, whose suspect ankle came through a tough trial with flying colours. All players were given the all-clear at training on Tuesday, before jetting off back to Sydney on Wednesday for the traditional grand final breakfast.
The mighty St George Dragons, ladies and gentlemen, please make them feel welcome, St George.
The Broncos knew they were behind enemy lines. St George declared by most as certainties.
I'm going to stick with St George.
So St George does seem to be on a roll.
I'm going for St George for Rick Potter.
Wayne Bennett refuted suggestions the Broncos had played their grand final the week before.
No, it's not a fear. They will find that little bit extra. They found on the weekend they were dead in the water, and they just kept turning up. Somebody kept turning up.
That same confidence was shared by the fans who turned out in numbers for the Broncos' remaining training sessions. On the eve of the grand final, there was far less fanfare when they arrived at Sydney's Mascot Airport, just the odd autograph hunter and well-wisher. Most, perhaps, scared off by a determined-looking Glenn Lazarus. The rest of the players looked relaxed and in high spirits, including Coach Bennett. Trevor Gilmeister deservedly looked a little perplexed, before being whisked away by the rest of the players to their hotel, where many would have spent a restless night. Next morning, the players partook of a hearty grand final breakfast before being joined at the hotel by a legion of well-wishers. World record holder Kieran Perkins, a member of Sydney's successful Olympic bid team, was back to go into bat for his favourite city.
I sort of can't come to terms with the fact that there's actually another team in it. I thought there was only us, but no, I've decided that you Sydney siders can't have it all your own way. It's you get the Olympics, we get the premiership again.
There was a similar confidence among other Queensland luminaries who attended a special supporters breakfast on match day. Across town, St George supporters started the day in similar fashion, their number one fan, Senator Graham Richardson, desperate to win.
3 reasons why we just have to win today. And the first is, those bastards from Queensland will drive us mad if they win again. And you won't get many better reasons than that. You ought to try living with the buggers. I tell you, it's hard work.
The Broncos spent the rest of the morning playing tennis before boarding the bus for the Sydney Football Stadium. They arrived at the ground to be greeted by a sea of Broncos fans.
Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to work we go. We're bringing the Broncos back again. Hi-ho, hi-ho.
A confident and smiling Wayne Bennett arrived equipped with a carton of the Broncos' magic elixir.
Go Broncos, here we are to yell and cheer, and to drink our powers beer. Hey!
The sold-out sign went up, the gates were shut, and the capacity crowd settled tentatively on their seats, awaiting. The crowd suitably worked in.
What can you say, mate? What can you say?
Yeah, mate, fantastic feeling. The boys, everyone's going berserk here, and just can't ask for much more than what the boys have done, in the past month.
How hard's it going to be to say goodbye to the boys?
Oh, mate, not really thinking about it at the moment, but probably sink in the next day or two, and when I sober up. But mate, it's not going to be much fun playing against them because they're all great mates of mine, and hopefully they won't want to play against me, so we might take it easy on each other. I doubt it though.
This must be fantastic for a player to soak up this sort of stuff.
Yeah, mate, it doesn't happen too often, and you just really something you never forget, no matter what happens in your life. No one can never take memories away like this from you. So it's a great feeling.
Before returning it to its rightful place, north of the border. That's where the real party would begin. The homecoming was overwhelming, more befitting a rock group than a league team. Such is the popularity of the Broncos, and they revelled in the attention, triumphantly displaying the spoils of war. Steve Renoff's jaw withstood one final test before the team headed for King George Square. Thousands more turned out, encouraging even coach Wayne Bennett onto the roof of the bus.
Thanks very much for turning up. Been a great year.
The Broncos then took their travelling roadshow onto one final stop, Gilbert Park. Another staggering crowd awaited them. Alan Langer and Kevin Walters carried off on a sea of emotion. The players and fans partied hard and long into the night. With morning came the now traditional haircut and numbering.
No, that'll do. That'll stop.
General Manager John Rebo kept a safe distance. The players recovered in time to join a ticker tape parade through the streets of Brisbane. The trophy mounted, the Broncos joined a motorcade which slowly wound its way to the Botanical Gardens. The players were again swamped by fans.
Doesn't get any better.
They grabbed every vantage point to catch a glimpse of their heroes. This for many was some consolation at not being able to secure tickets to the grand final. The people of Queensland have embraced the Brisbane Broncos like no other sporting team.
It's fantastic, and just the support for the Broncos is magnificent. It's getting bigger and better each year, I think.